Well, hey there, and welcome back to Meaningful Moments with May. This is a place where we get to pause, breathe, and reconnect with the energies of possibility. Today's episode is a deeply important one. What's blocking your abundance and how to unblock it? Because here's the truth. Abundance isn't something you have to chase and run after. It's something it's always flowing. But sometimes we build invisible walls that keep us from receiving the abundance that is rightfully ours. Today, we're going to talk about those walls and, more importantly, how to gently take them down. First, it's important to recognize that abundance isn't out there somewhere. It's not something you have to chase after. So many of us are taught to see abundance as something external and outside of us. A number in a bank account, the right opportunity, the right relationship, or just perfect timing. But abundance is actually a vibration and energy, and that energy is already around us and within us. The problem isn't that abundance isn't there, it's that something in us is blocking the flow. You're just simply not in alignment with the abundance. Think of abundance like a river. It never stops flowing. But if there are boulders and debris in the way, like limiting beliefs, fear, or old stories we keep telling ourselves, it can take a long time for the water to reach us. The good news is those blocks are not permanent. They can be repatterned and released, and then you can realign with the abundance that is already yours. Let's talk about a few of the most common blocks that hold people back from fully receiving abundance. And as I name them, gently notice if any of these resonate with you. Don't judge yourself, simply be the observer, because you can't fix something if you're not aware of it. This is an exercise of bringing about greater awareness to your abundance blocks. No judgment, okay? One common abundance blocks is the scarcity beliefs. I talk about this a lot. This is that inner voice that says, there's not enough. I have to fight to get ahead. Good things don't happen for people like me. When we hold on to scarcity, we subconsciously and sometimes unconsciously repel and push abundance away because we don't truly believe it's available to us. Another abundance block would be worthiness wounds. Deep down, many people carry the feeling, I don't deserve more. I have to prove myself before I can receive. The belief that love must be earned, gaining love, praise, or attention only when achieving or conforming to expectations can lead to the belief that one is only valuable if they meet certain standards. And let's face it, those standards are not your own. The feeling of too much or not enough, the belief that you are either a burden or completely insufficient are often two sides of the same coin in our worthiness wounds. Conditional self-worth, another sacred friend for me, believing that your value is based on external achievements rather than your inherent being. This can lead to overworking, burnout, and a feeling of constant inadequacy. I want to take a moment to identify how worthiness wounds manifest themselves. The first one is people-pleasing, a compulsive need to please others to avoid rejection or judgment. The second one, perfectionism, which has plagued me for longer than I care to admit. And this shows up as an attempt to be good enough or earn worth, often leading to an inability to ever feel truly satisfied. Emotional and physical exhaustion, the internal conflict of trying to be something or someone you're not, can be incredibly draining. And how about self-sabotage? Playing it safe, hiding your light, playing small, underachieving or hiding your true self because you fear you're not worthy of being or fully seen or heard. And how about insecurity, a tendency towards self-doubt, anxiety, and a persistent feeling that something is wrong with you? We can go into all of the common causes, childhood experiences, conditional love, etc., etc. But that is not what this clip is all about, my friends. Abundance isn't about worthiness, but if you feel unworthy, whether you're aware of that unworthiness or not, or on an unconscious level, you won't allow abundance to flow due to that unworthiness. That's all we're going to say to that. And then how about the fear of change? Sometimes we say we want more, but part of us is afraid of what more might mean. Will people see me differently? Will I lose something in the process? You know, fear of success is as real as the fear of failure. And fear can quietly sabotage expansion and growth. And here's one. How about holding on to the past, old failures, old disappointments, old relationship betrayals and wounds? They can shape how much we allow in the present. When we hold on to what didn't work, we consciously block what can. These blocks aren't flaws. They're simply protection mechanisms, they're protective patterns that we've built over time. And once we see them, we can repattern and release them. So how do you recognize your abundance blocks? Abundance blocks often show up in subtle ways, not just in money or the way we handle it, but in energy, time, love, opportunity. So here are a few signs that you might be bumping into an unseen block. 1, you feel like you're working hard but not seeing any results. 2, opportunities seem to almost work out then fall through. 3, you feel resistance when good things start happening. 4, you overgive but struggle to receive. That's a huge one. And 5, you feel guilty or uncomfortable when abundance comes your way. If any of that sounds familiar, take a deep breath. And remember, it isn't about blame or judgment. This is about awareness. And awareness is the first key to unlocking that flow again. So how do you actually remove these blocks? It begins with gentle but powerful shifts from the inside out. Here are some steps you can take to shift your abundance blocks. Step 1, acknowledge the block without judgment. You can't shift what you don't face. If scarcity shows up, notice it. If fear whispers in your ear, listen. Awareness is empowerment. Step 2, rewrite your story. Every energy block is rooted in a story. Scarcity or lack says there's not enough. Your truth can say there's always more than enough for me. Worthiness wounds say I don't deserve this, but your truth can say I was born deserving. Step 3, create space to receive. This may sound simple, but allowing is a practice. When someone gives you a compliment, receive it fully, joyfully. When opportunities appear, say yes, even if it feels a little uncomfortable. Receiving is a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Step 4, shift from force to flow. When you push, you're trying to control. But when you align, you're allowing the flow. Abundance flows where resistance melts. You see, blocking isn't about fighting the block. It's about softening into trust. So let's do a short reflection together. If you can, I would love for you to gently close your eyes. Unless you're driving, you can come back to this at a later time. We want you to be safe. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose like this. And then breathe out slowly through your mouth like this. Again. Keep your eyes closed. Now imagine abundance as a river flowing endlessly towards you. Notice if there's something in the way. Is there something blocking that flow? A boulder, a wall, a barrier. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's an old story. Maybe it's doubt. See yourself gently placing your hands on that block, whatever it is. And with your next breath, allow it to soften, dissolve, and drift away. Next, I'd love for you to feel the water of abundance flowing again. Not because you forced it, because you finally allowed it. If you can keep your eyes closed for just a little longer, sit with that vision. I'd love to offer you an opportunity to go a little deeper with these questions for journaling or reflection. Just keep your eyes closed if you're able, and ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about what I can or can't have? What I can or cannot do? What I can or cannot be? Where in my life do I still believe there's not enough? What's one way I can practice receiving today without guilt and without apology? And what would it feel like if nothing was blocking my abundance? Remember, you're not judging, just noticing. See where these questions take you. Abundance is not something you have to chase. It's a current already flowing, waiting for you to step in. Your blocks are not who you are. They're simply old stories built to protect you, but you're allowed to outgrow them. If you need permission, I give it to you. When you remove what stands in your way, what's meant for you can finally reach you. So today, just whisper this to yourself. I choose to open. I choose to receive. I choose abundance. Because the flow has always been there. It was just waiting for you to remember. I'd love to thank you for joining me on this meaningful moment. And if this episode touched something in your heart, share it with someone who may need to be reminded that they are not broken, just ready to receive more. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next, where we'll be discussing the topic of the importance of self-love in attracting abundance. And as you move throughout your week, may you notice all the places where abundance is already finding its way to you. Until next time, remember, abundance is actually an energy, a vibration, and that energy is already all around us and within each and every one of us. Bye for now.